Welcome to the Howe Bulldogs Coaches Show with Zack Hudson, brought to you by FBC Howe. Now, let's go to Monty Walker with the Bulldogs head coach.
All right, Coach, Pilot Point had a lead at halftime, and the atmosphere must have been pretty good at the half with the kids having a lead over there at their place.
It was. It was a great football game. We finally got that first drive in the end zone instead of stalling out. That was really good to see. I thought in the first half we did a better job of taking care of the football and not having bad things happen to us. That cost us, yardage and things of that nature. But it's one of those games. It was a hard game. It was everybody got their money's worth. We're down by one going into the fourth, and some circumstances happen. Slick field, and we fall down on the 3 on a kickoff return, and then some other things happen along the way that just non-intentional, nobody's fault. Just things happen, and one of these days that's not going to happen to us. But it's kind of been one of those years where things happen sometimes, and it makes you scramble a little bit because you got to move the ball a little faster than you're used to. And we're still a ground and pound football team. We still move the ball better on the ground than we do in the air, and so it takes us a little while to get down the field. And in the first half it worked for us because we ran the clock. I think one drive took half of a quarter, and so when they're not on the field they can't score. So it worked in our favor in the first half and even in the third quarter. But the fourth quarter it kind of hurt us because they got an easy one there real quick, and it made it a little difficult for us to come back from that.
Well, throughout the season, there's been flashes of the offense looking really good, but the defense will have a bad night. And then the defense will be great, and the offense has a bad night. Everything's starting to come together for this team. And then Friday night was kind of an exhibition of that, seeing both teams work together.
Yeah, they, I thought our coaching staff did a great job preparing, and our kids. And, I almost think they're more attentive even this week than they have been before. It's one of those things where you want, the whole team to play better as a whole. Sometimes matchups determine that, what the other team has and what they're doing. We struggle and always have struggled stopping the spread offenses just due to the fact that if we don't see it, we don't do it. It's a different game for us. But then every time we usually face the spread offensively, we do better because they don't do what we do. So it's kind of one of those games for us. Pilot Point, what the style they run, even Callisburg and Whitesboro, they play more into what we're used to and things like that. So defensively, that makes it a little easier for our kids because we're used to seeing it day in, day out. But we did work together. I'll hand it to our staff and our kids that. Really it's the same kids out there. I think we said defense get out there one time and 2 kids ran on and 2 ran off. So it's not a difference of kids or anything else, but just some weird circumstances happened there in that fourth quarter that you go look at yardage and the last 2 games and really the last 3. If you go look at yardage, it's real close. And the amount of yards allowed, and the amount of yards we got, and things of that nature. But other things determine who wins the game, and we got to watch that field position and stuff like that.
You said before that your young 2014 team would have a very tough time with this schedule this year. With that schedule that you've had and some things on and off the field, how has this season been for you personally?
Well, it's, I'll say this, it's probably one of the best coaching jobs I could say that, I've ever seen a staff do. They've done a great job of trying to get kids in positions to be successful, and that's all you can do. There's a lot of times kids are there and miss a tackle, and there's sometimes, a kid makes a play. And so as far as coaching goes, it is very rewarding to see, how we can change some things that help our kids. Interview Mikey Hummel and kids like that have moved positions, and it's made us better. And I think our staff has done a great job of being able to recognize where we could utilize some kids a little better. For me personally, it's about the kids. I want to make sure that they enjoy this and they remember this and remember the season. I never want a negative memory. I know that the record will always be the record, but on top of it, they got to learn some life lessons, and at the same time, I want to look back and appreciate what's been done for them, and in 10 years, look back and look back at some of the things they were taught, in this program, and know that it made them a better man and a better husband and a better dad, and that's where the reward comes from.
Well, you've been around 3 kids for 4 years, and up close and personal with Clay Marshall, Andrew Griffin, and Dylan Moreau. You had them as freshman starters on varsity back in that 2014 season, and that's when things started to really kick off with lots of success with that season. And how much are you going to miss those 3 kids?
Well, they've been around. I talked to one of them's dad last night. They've been around for a long time since I've been here, and they just kind of seem to be the rock. I even myself leans on, my wife leans on, and it will be different, and it's an adjustment I think all of us have to kind of make, and how you make it, I don't know. There's not a book written over it, but Dylan and Andrew, I've personally coached for 4 straight years. They've always played linebacker, and I've always coached them, and I could tell you what their next step's going to be. I could tell you what's about to come out of their mouth. I can tell you just about anything you want to know about them, and that's a good thing. And I appreciate the effort they've put into this program, and been a part of some great success, and been a part of some struggles, and things of that nature. But I still go back to that 2014. You start the season off 2-4, and you come back and you beat S&S, you beat White Wright, you get the playoffs, and you do well, and that's just that's the heart of these kids in Howe, and I look forward to future teams to be able to do that, and with the schedule we had this year, it just seemed it was just a perfect storm, and it really was. We were a very young and inexperienced team. I asked the kids before the game at Pilot Point, we do a little pregame almost, and I get them out on the field and we just talk for a little while, and I asked them to raise their hand how many kids played in the Pilot Point game last year, and 7 raised their hands. Never in my coaching career has 7 came over from the year before. It's usually been 15, 16, somewhere in there. And so there's a lot of inexperience out there that just aren't used to it, that level yet. But by this time of the season, we got to get used to it. We got to make it work. But I'm looking forward to those guys coming back, because there's a lot of kids that are coming back now that just didn't have that experience before. But as far as Andrew and Dylan and Clay go, I'm glad they're here. I'm glad they're showing them young ones how to do it. And they will be missed a whole lot, and it's hard to replace somebody with 4 years experience, but somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to replace them, and a wise coach with 40 years experience told me one time everybody's replaceable, and if you go down or whatever happens, everybody's replaceable, but they will be missed, and that leadership and that camaraderie with those 3 kids that they know, they with the change of coaching staffs a little bit and things like that, us 4 kind of always have that little bond that goes back to 4 years ago, that we remember, we know what it takes here and how to get it done, and so it's that part of it'd be a sad moment for right now.
Well, you talked a little bit about the future, and let's ask about that. Going forward, 2018 and beyond, what's the program going to look like?
Well, I mean, once again, you're going to have, we looked at it the other day, you got quite a few, your offensive lines coming back other than Clay. We got the back end's not coming back as far as, quarterbacks, receivers, and stuff like that. So, you got to find some kids other than Riggs. And then Austin, plays about 30% of the time at tailback. So, those 2 kids come back on the back end, but you kind of run into the same issue on the defensive side as, Ty graduating and Cade Courtney graduating and Moreau and Moss and Andrew and stuff like that. So, we're going to have these kids step up. Our JV's done a good job. They've gotten better all year. I know everybody wants to look at that record, but them kids have leaps and bounds from where they started, and they've just gotten a lot better just playing the game and doing what we're asking them to do and stuff like that. But they're going to have to step up, and our off season will be geared towards, finding those guys that are going to be stepping up and kind of pushing them along to get in there and get in the fight a little bit. And that's hard sometimes for younger kids to want to do that, but we're going to gear everything towards that.
Tonight, Callisburg, what do you expect to see from them?
Well, they're going to look a lot like Pilot Point. They run the same defense Pilot Point did, and they do have 3 kids that can go and they can run. They're fast. Coach Jack over there does a great job with them, and that staff. And I actually know about half of them, and they do a great job with the kids. And once again, we got to get out there and get in a bigger lead in the first half. And I've been saying that for a couple of weeks now. That's kind of what this team needs to do. They need to get in a big lead in the first half. And we have so many kids going both ways. It seems like you're always a step behind in the fourth quarter, but you look up and our kids have been playing the whole game and they've been off the field half the game. And so when you're able to do that and get that lead and you're a step behind, you can hold on to the football game. So that's what we need to do, and jump on them. Don't let field position kill us, and some bad things happen to us, and we'll be just fine. But we've been playing a lot better, tons better, and I think every week we've gotten better, and we just got to keep doing that. And we've had a great week of practice. Our kids show up every day; they're ready to go and having fun, and it's still the program, and we're not going to break from that, and we're still going to go out there and play hard. And I'm proud to say that every coach here is scared to death. Every coach that we play is scared to death. They know one thing: we ain't going to stop. And that in itself is a respect issue that we have from everybody. That no matter what happens, we ain't going to stop. And so as long as we keep playing like that, it'll turn out all right.